Good evening and namaste. It's been a few weeks or maybe even a month since we've done an upload. A lot been going on in everyone's lives, I'm sure, and the world, with elections and COVIDs and lockdowns and tiers and tier ones, tier twos, tier threes. So I thought I'd make this post tonight as there seems to be maybe a little bit of light at the end of the tunnel. With some news today of a possible vaccine that I've just seen on the news. So I thought it was quite an auspicious time to notice how things are starting to change. How we've got a new president in America who can't be much worse than the last one, but just noticing how things are changing and not to hang on to some expectation of everything's great now. It's all because when we do that, it's normally followed by another change. So it's just starting to see how the impermanence of things don't last forever. And just expanding on that subject, this very simple short meditation is going to be just trying to tap in to how we feel. So for want of a better word, trauma. It's quite a traumatic period that the world's going through at the moment, and everyone's personally feeling that in their own expression. So trauma, it's physically felt in the body, in the head, has an effect on our muscles, our hormones, our way we think, our anxiety, a whole number of things. And I just want to add a couple of words that you may have heard in meditations, but it's this kind of contraction that we feel in the body, a physical sense, a contraction, and how that gets tighter and tighter and tighter, and how the mind is paying attention to it and it can feel it, but that attention actually is more of a trying to get away from it and thinking, I don't want to feel this contraction, I don't want it, I want it out, I want it out. And the more that is done, the more that it's indulged, the more it will contract and the tighter it will get. What I want to sort of point to today is I want us to notice that contraction without any label. So when we feel anxiety or depression or anything that, or even any emotion whatsoever, I just want us to start to go directly to the feel of it, and rather than why am I feeling that and the cause and the effect, but more of how it feels. So a completely different perspective on how it feels and that contraction. So the attention on it should be very light, very gentle. I'm not advocating or saying for any point that, oh, there's a particular thing that you want to deal with, I must run towards it, face my fear. Not at all. I just want you to notice when that contraction happens and where you feel it. If you feel it in the stomach area, the shoulders, the entire body, the head, the face, but just start to meet the contraction rather than see it, get tighter, trying, indulging and running away from it, and also trying to ignore it. Okay, so neither indulge, neither ignore, but a noticing, a seeing, and just seeing if you can meet it gently head on and sit with that very, very opinionless feeling. Okay, so directly go to that sensation with more of a how does it feel than why am I feeling like this, rather than an analytical approach. Okay, and see what happens. Okay, so I invite you all to getting a comfortable position. If you wish to lie on the floor, fine, but just have a straight back. If you're someone that falls asleep very easily, maybe it's better to sit with an upright spine in your most comfortable chair, or if you're yogic in your anatomy and movements, you can sit in a particular asana if you wish. just a nice straight back. Okay, let the shoulders drop, face very relaxed, and I invite you to close your eyes. Okay, so gently let the eyelids close. Okay, just for 30 seconds or so, just sit without any agenda. And as soon as you're sitting, there might be a noticing of the breath. And if there isn't, then I want you to notice the breath. And just feel that tummy and abdomen expanding. And as you breathe in, feel it contracting. As you breathe out, breathe in, breathe out, expansion, breathe in, a contraction. You can also notice that the contraction and the expansion can be the other way around. Breathing in could feel like a contraction. Breathing out like an expansion. So I just want you to dive into that sensation of the breath. Dive into the bodily sensation. Where sensation is felt. And just bring the attention very lightly to that mechanism of expansion and contraction. Being very aware of that expansion and contraction, and how we can now notice that you as the person, you as the name, the identity, has no control over that expansion and contraction. It's doing itself without any need to remember or thought process. But by bringing gentle awareness and attention to that expansion and contraction, there's a softening, or maybe there's not a softening. Just see if you can sit meeting gently any feeling without any superimposed label or story. Even begin to notice if the mind brings in a story of, oh, I know why I'm feeling like this, I know what's caused. Bring your awareness to noticing that, and then just bring your attention back to the expansion and contraction as it is. Very gently. Maybe bring to your awareness how that flow may seem like it's inside this body, contained locally here. But gently see if, as the body calms and the attention deepens, that expansion is further than the limits and the shape of the body. Paying light attention with light effort, and let that effort dwindle away, and see and notice if the effort, as it dwindles away, everything still is as it is. Or if you notice that emotion, feeling, perception, concept, idea, thought, story is a constant motion, moving from one moment to the next. An analogy that I use from very old teachings, like waves in oceans, constantly in motion, changing, up, down, bigger, smaller, more violent, more calm in the doldrums, and how that wave still is part and only part of the water, and gives that appearance of separateness. So this perhaps feeling of trauma or worry or personalness is started to be seen as just a motion, an emotion that's constantly in motion, but is contained in a limitless space with no particular personal story. Feeling that contraction and expansion. And just as you meet anything that arises, just gently see if you can let it be as it is, as it wants to be, and just meet. Again, if something triggers great anxiety and it feels too much to gently meet, then just notice that. By not running off and not running towards. Don't feel that you're doing anything wrong or right. Just bring a sense of awareness, or notice this awareness kind of in the background, enveloping everything that arises. It's only a problem if you're making a concerted effort to get rid of, or following a habitual pattern. Just allow that attention to drop deeper, peeling away any concepts, any ideas, just seeing how there's a more deeper perspective, dropping into a feeling of relaxation, on almost a weight lifted, and not a personal feeling, more just an acceptance of what is, not with resignation, but more an opening. An expansion. So for the next few minutes or a few moments, just sit and almost just dissolve into that motion and see if there's anything behind that constant up and down, back and forth, positive and negative, contraction and expansion, just behind that dualistic behaviour, flitting from one to the next, and see for yourself a noticing of that movement, something behind. Take your time to bring a little bit of physical awareness back, noticing you haven't fully disappeared. No need to analyse what's happened, just leave it in the place it remains. And this practice can be done at any time. When you're starting to feel perhaps a reaction to a particular event, and there's plenty of that going around at the moment, it can help you, but don't rely on any sort of systematic approach of thinking this will cure this and this will cure that. More as see it as a recognition. So tap in to feelings. The Buddhists, they tap into these emotions very quickly before they grow into something that they're actually not. So see if you can start. There's a famous acronym called RAIN: recognize, allow or accept, investigate, and then non-identify. You can look at it like that. On that approach, I find it simpler to just find, or not find, but notice that feeling arise and be curious about it, rather than analytical, rather than make a story. Just notice, how is it feeling? Not how are you feeling, how is it feeling? What is it made of? And then notice how that feeling doesn't last and changes into something else, and then changes back. then change into something else. So something isn't changing and is aware of that change all the time. All these biochemistry reactions in the body, the nervous system, they're all automatic. Okay, we just superimpose a story on top. Okay, so start to sort of cut it away from the root. See it as, what is it made of? Where is this worry and anxiety coming from? Those things are felt, there's no doubt about it, but it's the stuff we put on top. So just try to see if you can take it down to its rawness gently, and make sure it's gentle, soft, not indulging, not ignoring. I hope that's helped, and practice as many times as you wish. I hope you're all keeping well, and let's hope that the light gets broader, as it will, and soon we'll be able to meet up together in rooms, in locations. Okay, so thanks very much, and some more videos will be coming in due course. Look after yourself. Namaste.